It is November 6th. It's 11 o'clock in the morning and I'm just getting into the woods. It is very calm and very still this morning. Not a cloud in the sky. And everything's dry because it's in the 60s right now. But we have a system moving in today. It's going to be really breezy. So I'm going to use wind as noise cover to push in close to a bedding area. And I also have a bunch of shadows being cast down from the sun direction right now, so that's going to give me really good access to get back up in there. So I'm going to spend the next probably hour going 200 yards, maybe 250 yards, and really take my time, not bump anything. And when I just got down to this woodline edge, I smelled deer, so good start. I wasn't really sure if I was going to stay in this spot. I know that it's just a button buck, but it's still information. This wouldn't be a bad spot for tomorrow with a west wind either. Actually wouldn't mind being up the hill a little bit further for a west wind. But it's getting to be probably close to 2 o'clock now. I should probably get in a tree. I've just been standing down here for the last 2 hours because I wasn't sure what this wind was going to do. It's staying pretty swirly. What tree to get into, but we got a doe and a real nice buck up in there, so I'm kind of stuck here. Now, because of my indecisiveness, I am scrambling to get set up here on the ground. Call that doe Old Blows the Lot. That doe has busted me so many times, and she is loud about it. I wouldn't be surprised if she catches my wind over there. Never mind, she just blew. Stands true to her name though, I'll give her that. My wind is swirly. I don't know if being up in the tree would actually help that or not. Well, big surprise. I changed my mind again. Same spot, I just climbed the tree. I didn't like that deer, that doe, got behind me over the top of the lip of that hill, that I couldn't see her, and then she blew. Didn't like that. So I kind of lose a little bit of cover, but this really isn't all that bad being up here, so. Besides, I prefer to hunt from a saddle anyways. Killing them from the ground is cool, but this is cooler. And I can see more information, man. The more information you have, the more successful you're gonna be. Casey's gonna be so mad at me for not shooting that deer. 20-yard chip shot. I didn't even have to stop him. And there's nothing wrong with that deer. It's a classic 3-year-old 8-point. Normally, I couldn't have squeezed the trigger fast enough, but this year's just a little bit different for no reason. I just feel like I wanted to take something older this year. And you've seen on this channel, we've taken old deer, we've taken some pretty small young deer. We're opportunistic hunters. We always have been. That just wasn't the opportunity that I wanted. There's another deer over here. I don't know where it went. Oh, shut up. Just get out of my wind. Move along. If you're not cool, nobody cares. Dead deer. I can't believe you didn't drop. I know that shot's fatal. Cow, that was a nice deer. Now that one I'm interested in. .509. God, that was a mess trying to get that camera on him. Hey. I just shot a buck.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, the shot it looked great, but he ran a good bit, and he was still running when I lost sight of him. You remember where my 16-point dropped the other year?
Big, yeah.
He ran up into there. He's still had my arrow in him, which is why I don't think he was bleeding too much. But I know exactly where he went, so obviously we're gonna give him at least an hour just to make sure. But that shot looked real good. I'll watch it back on the video, but it looks pretty good. Yeah. I didn't even care if I shot one tonight because I was seeing them all day.
Yeah, but then I'll finish up what I'm doing here and I'll change and head out.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta get my stuff down. I want to look at impact. I know exactly where he was. I didn't know what route he ran. I'm surprised he wasn't stumbling or anything, but there was a little tree that was in my way, and I had to push my shot back just a little bit. I didn't really hug the heart area as much as I wanted to. Oh, I see one walking. That might be him. Stand by. He's not limping or acting like he's hurt or anything.
You think he is walking back?
Yeah, this one is.
Oh.
Yeah, without seeing that guy fall, I'm gonna slowly get my stuff down, probably bring stuff back up to the truck, and then switch out some batteries and camera equipment and stuff, and then I'll meet you up at the truck and we'll track this together.
Hey, is it cold?
No, it's gonna be mid-50s tonight. It's a little breezy, but it's not that cold.
And we'll be walking, so.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take here. I'll head out in a second.
Okay.
Okay, well, yay.
Yeah, hopefully. I can't believe he didn't fall.
Yeah, but congrats even on a shot.
Yeah. I think he's one of the big guys from last year. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna be real.
I'm gonna hurry up.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be real delicate getting out of here because I don't want to spook him if that is who I just saw.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. That shot did look a touch back on the video. I did have that tree I was trying to avoid, and he was just a little quartering to me, which I couldn't really tell. So my shot might be a little back, might be lung and liver. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna get down, look for a little bit of blood. I just saw another big deer up there moving. It wasn't acting like he was hit though. Obviously this guy is, so I gotta get down and figure this out. All right, I'm at impact. I don't see any blood yet, but I never really do with these single bevels. It takes a good bit for them to start bleeding. There we go. There's some blood. Actually looks good. I really don't want to walk around here too much without knowing that he fell or went down. My stuff's right there. I think the best bet is to just get my stuff and skedaddle. Watch this back with Casey and get a game plan. It's a big deer. He can withstand some trauma. It's 6:04. It's been an hour since the shot. We played it back on the camera and slowed it down on our phones, and the shot doesn't look as far back as I initially thought. So that's good. It's a big deer, and the arrow didn't come out, so he's not losing blood. So we're still giving it time, and my brother's on his way, and he's gonna help us track without there being an entry and an exit. that's not being plugged by an arrow, it's going to be a hard track job until he starts spilling through his airway system. So I think the more time that we give this, the better, just because he is a big old body deer and he can go a long ways. So I don't want to bump him. If the shot is how we think it is, he's probably dead now, but we're just going to be careful. The arrow stayed in him, and it plugged him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that's right where you want it to be. You can see right there in the next frame, right there, you can see that crook of his elbow.
Yeah.
And where it came from, and that fletching went right back into that armpit. He's not that far quartering forward, if any.
No, which this short video of it's too short to see, but he actually, when I stopped him, he did a quick turn. So
yeah, he kind of turned into the sound a little bit.
Yeah, which I hated stopping him, but he wouldn't stop.
Oh, he's got other things on his mind.
Yeah.
Did you check for blood?
I got a little speck of blood. Those single bevels don't really bleed right away.
All right.
Especially with the arrow still being in them. So
hair? Did you find any hair?
I didn't find any hair. He took off. I know exactly where he ran to. I don't know his exact trail.
Okay.
He stopped up at the top of the hill for a little bit, stumbled, flicked his tail, and then started bounding off up towards that thicket.
Flicked his tail?
Yeah.
All right. Where were you at? Were you down in the bottom or closer up by?
I was pretty much dead center of the hill.
Okay.
So I was being greedy and wanted best of both worlds.
I don't blame you. I've sat there before.
Actually, I had no idea where to go. I was on the ground most of the day.
Right. Well, yeah. We were.
That's your phone.
Yeah, that's her phone. Yeah, we talked a little bit on the phone. I think you got a dead deer.
I think that's a dead deer too.
Yep.
It's been an hour.
Yep.
So we're by the time we get back in there, and down in there, probably good enough to start tracking, you would think.
Slowly, yeah. Even if you wanted to give it a little bit more time, it wouldn't be the worst thing. And the only reason why I say that is because, let's say he's one of those big gnarly deer that just want to stay alive and he's just bedded.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of room to look back there without kicking him off.
I know, I was thinking that too. But I'm half on property lines, half on temperature.
Yeah. Temp I'm not worried about. This breeze will keep any heat off of him from setting in hard. Now if you had to let him go until 9-10 tomorrow morning, I'd start worrying.
Yeah.
But the sun's not out, it's windy as crap.
You think it's best to let him go overnight just to be sure?
I wouldn't let him go the whole night. If you wanted to give him a good amount of time, I'd get in here at like 3 a.m.
Okay.
But if you wanted to go to town and get some dinner or grab a beer,
yeah.
I mean, to me, if we were on a big track and we weren't super worried about bumping him off to a place where we couldn't find him, or couldn't have access to him. Not like you want to bump a deer anyway, but
no. See, you're saying stuff that I'm thinking. I just don't want to accept
you just
reality.
don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, I said as soon as I got here, let's go. Come on, let's go. I'm not coming to help at 3 a.m. I got school in the morning.
I might be able to do 3, but I would have to be back out on the road and going to work by 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, let's go grab a bite, sit on it. If you're available later,
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Probably not, but I'll let you know.
Okay.
But looking at what I've seen here, I think that's a lot better hit than you thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy.
Okay. And that was the last year.
That was last year.
Okay. I'd give him some time. Just to be sure. I'd give him some time. He's thick, man.
He's a bit bigger.
Yeah. How old do you think he is?
I think he's a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is funny because I passed in a real nice 3.
Really?
Nice 3-year-old. It's 8:26. About 3.5 hours since the shot. We're probably about 100 yards from where I shot at. So don't expect to find a lot of blood there in the very beginning. Probably just going to do a quick little loop around that area, see if he starts to open up lower. But we know where he went up the hill roughly. We'll have to find that and then hopefully find some blood there and start tracking in from that. But we looked back on the video a couple times. It's not as far back as we initially thought, so we got a lot of hope here. The fact that it wasn't passed through is still kind of a bummer, but we got hope. Better get that camera on. He's down.
I haven't even seen him yet.
You can just barely see my knock.
Oh. How you feel?
Oh, I love you. Thanks for doing this stupid stuff with me.
You're welcome. I want to see him. Oh, Dane.
Actually, I smelled him before I saw him.
He figured.
Oh yeah, he's stiff. Yeah, you think that shot wouldn't be acting like that, but
Oh, he's huge.
that's a nice deer. Look at the mass on him. This is a nice solid 8-point. Now I was telling everybody it was a 12. Oh, that is awesome. What a great deer.
You think he died right after?
No.
He made it a decent way.
He didn't bleed at all. I'm curious to see about
I didn't see anything.
I'm curious to see about the shot. But I kind of figured this was the area that he was going to move to. Alright, let's get him out of this wind down the hill. We'll clean him down on the bottom and do a little bit more videoing down there.
Deal.
I'm so happy we found him.
It's not that hard. It's just my back because I'm dragging like this. Buddy.
Well, it started raining on us, so I'm glad that we found him when we did. We have photos of, actually I got video of this deer last January when I was on a doe hunt. He definitely got a little bit bigger. He lost a little bit of his characteristics, but he put on a lot of mass. So that was an incredible day in the woods between the doe movement early on in the afternoon and then the buck movement that last hour and a half, passing on that smaller 8 to get this big guy. That's exactly what you want out of November. And granted, we got some work ahead of us now, but I'm glad that we backed out and gave it a couple hours. And to be honest, we weren't really finding any blood. We had the one speck that I first found when I first got out of the tree, but since then we didn't find any blood. And I was walking up the hill in the bedding area and I actually caught a whiff of him. I smelled him and I turned off my flashlight, and this lighted knock is the only reason why we probably got hands on him as quick as we did, because in the pitch black, that's actually what I saw. And I saw that it wasn't moving, so I slowly raised my light up and there it was, just lying there. So Casey, thanks for being in here for this. You put in a lot of the hours that I have too. So now it's time to fill your tag.
Yeah.
So we got probably about an hour's worth of slicing and dicing. It's going to be a heavy pack out of here. I'm thinking he's a 4, maybe 5-year-old. I think he was 4 last year, so he's either way, he's the age class that I was after in Ohio this year, and he's just a beautiful, beautiful 8-point.
An awesome evening in the woods.
Good job. Proud of you.
Thanks.
Sorry I couldn't be there.
Proud enough for you to carry the frame pack on the way out?
No.
Well, I thought you said you were proud. Oh, as far as the shot goes, you can see here on the leg, obviously this is where you want to aim, and I was about a hand's width behind that, having that smaller tree there that was blocking where I wanted to hit with him, just slightly quartering to. The exit, I can't show you, it's a little bit too bloody, but it was just on the liver side, so this was a 1 lung and liver hit, and you know, the 3 to 4 hours, and we were pretty close to the 4-hour mark by the time we actually got up in there, and he had been dead for a while. But if you're not sure about the shot and you don't see him fall, always back out. It makes such a huge difference. It's stressful. We went and got dinner, we had pizza, it was great, little date. It's always a good decision to back out and do the right thing. So now it's time to sharpen a couple blades and doll them right back up.